First item on the agenda is citizen concerns. Would anyone like to address the board on an item not already addressed on the agenda? Is there anyone? Seeing none, item 2 is approval of the agenda. I'll move it.
Second.
Second by Radig. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 4-0. Items 3 through 9 constitute a consent agenda of routine action items to be considered by one motion. Items pass unanimously unless a separate vote is requested by a board member. Item 3 is approval of the minutes of the December 1st meeting. Item 4 is approval of the claims. Item 5 from Board Administration is approval of a notice of property sale resolution for a parcel, also known as 3209 3rd Street, for Tuesday, December 22nd at 4:35 p.m. Item 6 from Board Administration is approval of a resolution for a tax abatement for a New Life Community Church of the Nazarene. Item 7 from the County Treasurer, Mike Clayton, includes A, approval of resolution for a tax abatement for initials TN, B, approval of resolution for a tax abatement for initials GS, and C, approval of resolution for a tax abatement for initials AH. And 8 from Human Resources includes A, approval of the Memorandum of Personnel Transactions. Melissa, did you have a commentary?
Okay, so Melissa Thomas, Human Resources Director. For this item, we're going to take off the appointment of Jen Beeson, and that will be at a later date
Okay.
for this item.
With that one correction, any other items on A? Anything else to correct, Melissa?
Not to correct, but to comment on. That would be all right?
Is that on a future item?
I think so. Initiate the hiring process.
Okay, then item B is the authorization to initiate the hiring process.
Okay. For that item, first of all, I'd like to talk about the treasurer's full-time clerk appointment. That position was previously a part-time position, and that individual was part-time for many years, and they would like to put that to a full-time position. I do believe the difference between the beginning wage and obviously the highest wage on the scale will, you got that? There's like $5,800 difference. Would make that feasible. And also the part-time person already had benefits, so there's no benefit change, just the wage change. I wanted to let everybody know that situation. And also with the Sheriff's Office, we do have a few new positions being added, a Deputy Sheriff Sergeant, a civilian lieutenant position, and then there's a deauthorization of a Deputy Sheriff and a Clerk Secretary 3 for a total savings in the budget. And Denny can help with that as well as Hanker.
Overall saves about, it's a reorganization a little bit, but overall saves about $6,000 overall. Even though positions change, it's just restructuring, but staying within the budget limits on this particular items.
Okay.
Okay. Good? Cool. Good, yeah, okay. So that's all for that item.
Thank you. Any other commentary on that? No? Item C is approval of request to deauthorize county positions. And item D is approval of renewal paperwork for Woodbury County's medical plan.
Okay, I would like to speak on that, please. We do have a few other things for you to sign. And I would like to point out, and I'm very happy to say that starting January 1st, we will be offering immunizations. They're ACA immunizations that are that they say we should have. And also, that is a big change because up until now, we can only do immunizations up until the age of 7. So going forward, especially in this environment, I think it's very important. We'll be now covering at your medical office such things as a pneumonia shot, shingle shot, immunizations more for the children. So I do think following the ACA and their recommendations, in the long run, obviously our staff are going to be a lot healthier and maybe save, some money. So I think this is a really, really good step.
I think it's a good move too. It's an added convenience for the employees at their primary care office or wherever they happen to be, just to get those things covered while they're there instead of finding another place, finding a pharmacy. Right?
Exactly. And immunizations isn't anything that can be taken advantage of,
Right.
You only get so many, and now it's all in your health record, and it'll be good for employees.
I think it's a positive. I honestly couldn't believe we didn't cover them before, so.
It's something decided a long time ago, obviously before the ACA and all that, so this is good.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Item 9 from Secondary Roads, it includes A, to approve the underground utility permit for Hunt Farms for electric line in Grant Township, and B, approve the underground tile line permit in the county right-of-way for Randy Hunt Farms. Any questions on the consent agenda?
I'll move approval of consent agenda.
I'll second.
Motion by DeWitt, second by Raddick. Hearing no discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 4-0. Item 10 from Secondary Roads, County Engineer Mark Nara is to approve contract and bond for project pairing K46 bridge replacement.
We have the contract returned by Graves Construction for the K46 bridge. Total bid and contract price, $1,515,008.32. I recommend approval of contract and bond.
I'll move it.
Second.
Motion by DeWitt, second by Raddick. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say nay. Passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 11 from the Board of Supervisors, Mr. DeWitt. It includes 2 action items. The first, they're related. The first is A, it's approval of a resolution recommending the approval of Humboldt County's request to join the Rolling Hills Community Service Region effective July 1st, 2021. Go ahead.
And we've been talking about this for a while, but your vote was unanimous, right, on the,
It was not. There was 1 vote against out of the 8.
well, that's better than what we did, so, right?
Well, that was part of what came up. Yeah, it was. But it was one of the nay votes from us that was the nay vote for this. But there was a fair discussion. It looks like the first year to 2 years, Pocahontas and Humboldt, I'll just speak of them collectively rather than individually at this point, but it looks like they will be contributing more than they will gain, or that they will get back in services for at least the first year for sure, second year possibly. There was some back and forth. One opinion was a no vote. His reasoning was just because we're bigger doesn't mean we're better. At the end of the meeting, I asked the question: Is there any real reason, money, ethical, stretching out the zone or the region at all? Is there any legitimate reason that we shouldn't accept these two counties for the mental health? And there was no answer to the negative. So I did vote to add these 2 counties. They're very small counties combined. They're less than 17,000 as far as population goes, but there's some fracturing of some regions over that way. And I actually asked the question if, I think it was Pocahontas is the farthest one east, if they would be better served going to another region. And they basically declared that there was some friction between the counties, and that going to the next one to the east was actually 50 or 60 miles farther than coming to Sioux City.
Wow.
For the same services. So, like I said, there was really no negative reason to keep them out. I understand for those that are here that there was no shortage of questions. They did have to defend themselves on what they were after, why they wanted to move, but there was some, like I said, there's some fracturing of the regions over there. And I think they'll be a good fit. It's not like they're bringing in more money, like I said, for a solid first year than they will be spending on the first year. So second year looks pretty good too, but I will recommend approval of the Humboldt County's request.
Was that a motion?
No.
I'll make a motion then.
I'll second the motion by Raddick. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 4-0. Item B is the same for Pocahontas County.
I'll move that as well.
I'll second.
Like I said, I like to think that presenting them both at the same time, they both had similar answers with their regions dissolving and such. So unless you have particular questions about one county or the other, a little late to recommend approval, but there it is.
Yeah, Humboldt's further east, so,
Humboldt, okay.
yeah, so we'd have to take Pocahontas now.
On the motion by Raddick, second by Ung. Any other comments? We weren't the only county in the state to switch regions, it seems.
Well, it seemed like, and I made the comment that in the meeting, the open meeting, that for Woodbury County to get into Rolling Hills seemed more like a gang beating into the initiation process, and most everybody understood what that meant, but there were still some difficult questions for the other two counties to answer. So, like I said, it was 7-1 on that vote.
Okay. Very good. Hearing no other discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 4-0. Item 12 is reports on committee meetings. Last week, Mr. DeWitt and I reported on a hire decision being reached by Veterans Affairs Commission. I believe the chair of that commission was notified recently that the applicant who was offered the position has decided to renege. And that's what I have to report, unless Mr. DeWitt has more.
So, yes,
No, it was a challenging situation there, but I think it looks like it's clearing itself up, so.
Right, and I think, well, that information was shared with us last night. So they do have a number 2 candidate, which I think they're getting a hold of, and we will let everybody know how that goes.
Is that the candidate who was previously being considered?
Yes,
Is that the candidate?
yes. So that's all the information I have right now.
Thank you. On that note, did anyone happen to tell the commission when we'd like them to meet?
Say one thing, sorry.
Yes.
They have their, I'm sorry, I really don't know when it's going to begin, but they've changed their meeting times to Wednesday afternoon at 3:45. I'll get it straight.
And that's once a month, isn't it?
Yes.
And like the first Wednesday, what is it? I don't remember.
I don't know. They had one last week. I don't know if that was a special meeting or not, but I'll let everybody know when that's going to start. And then we can change that to probably on the website too.
Great.
Thank you.
Good deal. If any of the members of the commission are watching live right now on YouTube, thank you for changing your meeting time to not be at the same exact time as the Woodbury County Board of Supervisors meeting. Any other reports on committee meetings? No. Item 13, again, any citizen concerns? Any calls, Karen? No calls. No calls. All right. Item 14, any board concerns? How's everyone doing? Good? Good.
I will be at the meeting for WIC tomorrow.
Oh, yes. What's on that agenda?
Tell you the truth, I haven't looked at it yet.
Oh, I was thinking about the authority.
Oh, that's just,
also-
authority, just some procedural stuff, or approving a claim or two, and, that one's at 10.
Okay.
So, yeah, there's just, should be a very, very short meeting.
Okay. You're good. Dennis, any items to report on the progress financially with the Law Enforcement Center project?
Oh, we did get $1,635 interest, which we're getting one half of 1%. The rates are just, they aren't there.
Anything meaningful to report? Anything meaningful to report?
That's cold.
Except we're going to start present a report each month, at the end of the month, for where we stand with all our contracts, revenue, and our fund balances. And I think I'll start forwarding them to the board also to go through if you want to on that.
Okay.
In fact, I'll bring them November next week.
Okay. Just for the board's knowledge, I've asked Dennis to show us some figures on the percent of reserves we have in our funds going back at least 10 years. So we have that just baseline to look at as we enter a challenging budget year with additional expenses related to the building of the jail and no income at that time. So I think that's important for us to see as soon as we can, and we'll have that either delivered by email or in your mail as soon as Dennis has that ready.
So I don't,
Also, we'll have a tax case hopefully tomorrow sometime.
Okay.
So we're just waiting for a city to release. Michelle's been working diligently on this. And this week she's working on payroll to get all our numbers put together. So next week we can slide the operating with the payroll and start getting to where we're at. Start with the process.
on that 28E we did with the city, we never did include anything as far as what we're doing with the old building, right?
No, that's gotta be an MOU written, between the city and the county, what we're gonna do with the building, who's gonna tear it down, things like that.
Sure.
If we, give the city the bill, whatever. But that's something I think we asked for a month or two ago with Dan. I can resurrect that with Dan if the board wishes. to get
No, not
some
yet.
MOU going.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay,
I don't think it's been provided to us yet anyway, so.
no, it hasn't been written at all.
Well, we were going to talk about it more, I think, after the project was done, and we knew,
Yeah, it's gonna be a couple of years anyway.
yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
Any other board concerns? Or anyone have anything for the cause? All right, thank you. We're adjourned.
You got them?
Yours. They suck. They suck. They do not.